The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, we're going to wait a few minutes just to let some other people join. We'll start in just a few minutes. We're just waiting a couple more minutes for some new attendees. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Hi, and thanks for joining our webinar. My name is Carissa McCall, and I'm an account manager here at ImageBloom. I am joined by my colleague, Michelle Stevens, marketing team lead, as our moderator. Today, we're going to help you consider which platforms are best for your business and how each platform will help you reach your target audience. Today's objectives are to identify who your audience is, understanding your target audience's online behaviors, understand how to target your audience, understand the importance of knowing what platforms your audience is using, and understand how to tailor your content to reach your audience. To get a feel of where you are, we'd like to start off by asking a question. What do you think your target audience is? We'll give you about 30 seconds to answer this question. Okay, so all of the above, yes. Your target audience would be all of the above. It could be any of these things or all of them. One way to look at who your target audience is to identify your audience demographic, such as their age, their gender, and their location. Evaluate what behaviors your audience has, which we'll talk about more in the next slide. Find out what motivates your audience and what trends they have, and discover the pain points your audience has. One way to look at what content you should be presenting to your consumers is your unique expertise versus your audience's motivations and pain points, and find the content that is exactly what your consumer is looking for. Identifying your audience based off the inclusion and exclusion criteria. Some of the driving factors that make up your target audience for study-specific advertising are diagnosis, age, and any exclusion criteria. For example, for a pediatric psoriasis study, your audience would likely be the parents of the child with psoriasis. Another example is an Alzheimer's disease study. Your target audience may be the adult children who are the caregivers of a parent with Alzheimer's. What behaviors do your target audience have? To create ads and content that are relevant to your audience, you must evaluate their behaviors by asking questions such as, where do they work? How much money do they make? What activities interest them? What topics do they talk about? What are the relevant current events in their feed? Learning what motivates your audience can help you determine what kind of appeal will resonate best with them. This ad is an example of targeting the motivations of a millennial audience who may be looking for volunteer opportunities and ways to make a difference. One of the audience motivations could be convenience. Does your audience know your location, or are they willing to travel for your services? Affordability. Is your audience motivated by a compensation amount or not needing insurance to participate in a study? And beliefs. Using images that have an emotional appeal, acknowledging your audience's beliefs. And is your audience looking for ways to make a difference and give back? What is your audience's pain points? A pain point is a specific problem that your audience is experiencing. This could be not having success with current options. How can you provide a solution? Lack of understanding of their condition. Many people do not have a full understanding of their condition, or they're not aware of their options. Lack of knowledge of clinical trials. 82% of people said their doctors have never mentioned clinical trials. This ad is an example of targeting an audience that may not know a lot about clinical trials. It says, make learning about clinical trials your next stop. Now is a good time for our next question. What platform do you think is best for your audience? We'll give you about 30 seconds to answer. Okay, so it looks like many of you think that Facebook is the best platform to reach your audience. This could definitely be the case, and it seems that with every study and with every message that you're putting out there, the platform that's best could vary. So we'll talk a little bit more about what each platform is good for which audience. Now that we know more about who your audience is, you can begin to think about where they are and how you can reach them. You may even find a channel you're not using that could be targeting your demographic. Facebook is the largest social media by far, with 2.5 billion users monthly, and ages 25 to 34 being the most common demographic. Another honorable mention is users 65 and older are the fastest growing group on Facebook. And Facebook leans heavily towards 76% of all females have a Facebook and 66% of all males have a Facebook. For Instagram, you're looking at about 1 billion users monthly, with ages 18 to 29 being the most common demographic, and 52% of females have an Instagram and 48% of males have an Instagram. With Twitter, you're looking at 152 million users daily, with the ages 25 to 34 being the most common demographic, and 76% of females have Twitter and 66% of males have Twitter. So you can see that these main social medias are driven by the millennial age group from 18 to 34. Other platforms your audience may be on include YouTube, which has 2 billion users every month and is more heavily skewed towards men, and 81% of those users are 15 to 25. Pinterest, which has 335 million monthly users and is heavily skewed towards women, with 72% of women having a Pinterest. Snapchat, which has 218 million daily users, 61% of women and 38% men, and 82% of those users are 34 or younger. And TikTok, for those who don't know, is an instant video platform where you can put music behind your video, and they tend to be shorter videos. This is currently the 6th largest social media with 800 million monthly users. Traditional media platforms such as radio is most commonly listened by adults age 50 and older. It's still one of the most accessible forms of media, and the top formats include country, news, and adult contemporary. TV, 59% of viewers of TV are age 55 and older, and the average US consumer spends about 4 hours daily watching TV. For print advertisements such as newspapers and billboards, about 170 million Americans still read the newspaper monthly, and 71% of people consciously look at billboards while driving. Keep in mind that these statistics will definitely vary by each media outlet that you're using and depending on your city. Be sure to get a report of those demographics before deciding if those platforms are right for your audience. Now that you know where your audience spends their time online, you can learn how to customize your content by each platform that you're using. For Facebook, we see the highest engagement in blog posts and relevant articles. This helps consumers feel like they're learning something from your posts and your articles and begin to develop trust for your brand. Testimonials of satisfied patients can create content that's easy to relate to and also can develop trust for your brand. And using images that show the same season that you're in, that are relevant to your geographical area, that are representative of your demographic, if it's a younger demographic, if it's for children, or if it's for a parent, and then also include images and videos that show diversity. For Instagram, this tends to be the most engaged audience. Authentic pictures and videos perform well, and using 11 or more relevant hashtags creates the most exposure for your posts. For Twitter, videos perform very well on Twitter, and given that you have a 140 character count limit on Twitter, you can usually squeeze in about 2 or 3 hashtags that are relevant to your post. For YouTube, educational and relevant videos are good. For TikTok and Snapchat, you could do short videos of your staff or of your office. For TV, radio, and print, most of these mediums will allow you to have a short and memorable message. Always use a dedicated phone number to be able to track those calls from each media outlet that you're using. And use your website on your advertising to be able to drive more website traffic and give people information about your business. IB Hello is a service that ImageBloom offers that is a voicemail captured system that's integrated with Twilio, so we can report those results back to you, and we can set up vanity numbers that will tie directly back to traditional advertising. Now is a good time for our last question. Are you tailoring your content to each platform that you're using? We'll give you a little bit of time to answer this question. But yes, it looks like most of you, or about 2/3 of you, are posting unique content to each platform, and that's awesome. Hopefully you're getting really good engagement from using that technique. So how do you know when your posts and your content is working? If you set goals for your site, you can measure growth on your social media by documenting where your audience is and where you'd like them to be. For example, how many followers do you have and how many followers would you like to have? Follow how much engagement your audience is contributing and how much engagement you'd like to see. This could be how many likes you're getting on your posts, how many comments, or maybe if you'd like more shares on your posts. Pay attention to when your followers share your content and find the trends in those shares to create similar content that will be shareable. Within each platform, such as Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, you can view analytics to analyze your audience. It's not always easy to identify an audience and to follow their trends and tailor content to them. Enter ImageBloom. Our experienced marketing and design team have years of experience helping organizations build successful brand strategies. Our typical branding package includes social media management on all platforms that you would like to use, daily social media posting 5 days per week, professional creation of ads and graphics such as animations, GIFs, branded imagery, content forwards, and more. We post 2 blogs per month, which include branded messaging that can be promoted for consistent SEO growth, 1 email blast per month to provide a rebranding opportunity, and press releases as needed. We're now going to open it up to questions.
Okay, so our first question is, have you seen success using traditional media for harder indications?
Yes, I think we've definitely seen success for using traditional media because there is an older demographic that is loyal to traditional media like newspapers and radio and TV like we've seen. However, it can be expensive. So tracking is very crucial and critical for using traditional media. And that's why setting up those numbers that are dedicated solely to the purpose of that billboard ad or that radio ad or that television ad can help you track how many people are actually calling and applying via that medium.
Okay. And the next question is, which platform would you recommend for pediatric studies?
I think for pediatric studies, one of the best platforms is, of course, Facebook. They do offer a lot of targeting options where you are able to target parents of children. And also Google is another honorable mention that can reach people who are searching for pediatric studies.
Okay, and then when do you think you should use Twitter?
Yeah, I think Twitter definitely is constantly evolving and posting a lot of things about trends and current events. So if you can find a way to tailor your content to those really highly searched hashtags, that definitely will get you a lot of exposure if you can stay relevant in what people are posting and reading about.
Okay. And then this question is, how much price difference is there between all of these platforms?
Would you like to take that question, Michelle?
Sure. So the price can vary definitely between all of the platforms, but more traditional forms are definitely going to be more expensive. Things like Facebook and Google, you can pretty much pick your budget and you can pick how much you want to spend per day, what you want your cost per lead to be. So really, if you have a cheaper budget, we definitely recommend going with something more towards the digital platforms. But if you do have a good, healthy budget, you can include some more traditional, maybe some radio, some TV, maybe even some Google display ads that can just raise awareness.
Awesome.
And then so the next question is, what platform works best for organic versus paid traffic?
I think definitely on Facebook, you're going to see the best results with a paid campaign. With an organic campaign, you're only reaching your followers, whereas on Instagram and Twitter, using hashtags increases your exposure to people who aren't following your account when they're just searching those hashtags. So organic posts can do very well on all platforms, but Twitter and Instagram are definitely great platforms for organic posts.
Okay. And then this question is, how often should we post?
How often you should post definitely depends on what platform you're using. For Facebook, you want to be consistent, so posting every day is ideal. For Twitter, that content doesn't tend to live as long because of how many tweets that people are tweeting every hour. So you would, if you could post multiple times per day just using hashtags for all kinds of different things. And Instagram, same thing as Facebook, just be consistent and post daily.
Okay, awesome. And then this last question is, do we only do study marketing or do we also do general marketing?
Yeah, we do marketing for all kinds of campaigns, anything from brand awareness to study specific advertising. And yeah, definitely just creating more. We do appointment leads and all kinds of marketing. So just reach out to us if you have any questions or you're interested in learning any more about our services. Is that all of our questions, Michelle?
Yep, looks like that's it.
Awesome. Thank everybody so much for your time and for listening to our webinar. Definitely, if you're interested in learning more about our services, you can visit our website at imagebloom.com or give us a call at 866-YES-BLOOM. You can also reach out to me via email at carissa@imagebloom.com for any other questions or if you'd like to set up a call to discuss your site-specific needs. Thanks again.